And I don't know who needs to hear this, but there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with this. These characters are designed so that we care about them, right? The studios and the actors and all the people on the production team are doing a beautiful job of creating these fully fleshed out human beings. They're doing a beautiful job of creating them, and we feel for them. We're meant to, we're supposed to. Welcome back to Love and Fandom, where we believe the relationships we see on the screen help us to understand ourselves at a deeper level and have a better relationship with ourselves and each other. I'm Cheryl Muir, relationship expert, full-time nerd, professional fangirl, and someone who's experienced this very, very topic that we're talking about today. I feel a little nervous. If my voice is a little bit shaky, then please forgive me. It's the first time I'm talking about this. It's something that's been on my heart for a long time. So can you feel true love, real genuine love towards a character? Before we really get into the answer, you probably already know what my answer is going to be, but before we do, I want to ask you these questions. Is it possible to build and maintain a relationship with someone solely through the screen? Through your phone, through FaceTime, through Zoom, etc. Is it possible to stay in touch with someone and have that relationship be solely through the screen? So we're talking about long lost relatives, friends that live overseas. Is it possible to connect with them that way? Do you have relationships with people who you've never met in real life, but you know them pretty well through social media or through your channels? And is it also true that these characters are designed to make us really, really care about them and make us feel for them? Because let's be honest, it's pretty lucrative when you have a group of people who really love a character and really demand more content from them. It's yes to all of the above, right? It's yes to all of those things. And so it's really not that much of a stretch to understand how we can love a character who we've only seen through the screen, because so many of our relationships are built that way and based that way, especially over the past 2 years. We all know what we've been through. As they say, we've all been in the same storm, but we've all been in different boats. And I think that is very, very true. There's some really interesting research from the Frontiers in Psychology group. I've talked about them before, and they talked about how the consumption of fan fiction shot up exponentially during that period of isolation that we all had. And that was sort of true as well for even people that are not in fandom, right? It's true. People were diving into fictional worlds. They were diving into their streaming services, film and television, because the world was a confusing place and people didn't really know what to do. And so they dived into this art that had been created. Now, there are some people that can just watch a film or watch a television series and they just watch it and enjoy it and then don't think anything more of it. There are some of us who we watch a film and we love it and we get drawn in and we get fascinated by the world and we're drawn to a character and then we want to stay in it. We want to stay in it. We want to stay in relationship to this character, and we start imagining different things, and we build a relationship with these characters through fan fiction, fan art, video montages, reels, TikToks, etc., shifting, all of these things. So what I really want you to know is, yes, it is absolutely possible to love a fictional character, to have the same feelings that you have towards any other person. Now, I know there are going to be people, and this video really isn't made for them, but there's going to be people who say, yeah, but those characters aren't real. And I don't like that kind of comment, and here's why. Because it feels a little gaslighty to those of us who've developed a really deep and profound relationship with these universes and with these characters. We know in reality, we know what's real, we know what's not real, but these characters exist in some kind of form. Things exist when they have a lot of energy behind them, right? And we've brought these characters to life with our fan fictions, our art, our cosplay, talking about them, developing headcanons, etc. So we've brought life to them. And these characters actually do exist. They exist in that movie. They exist in that franchise. They exist in that universe. They exist in that form. It's also true that when an actor approaches a character, they're thinking, what is this character's motivations? Like, who are they really? What's their backstory? If there's not a backstory in the script, they're creating one. So the actor and the actors are approaching these roles to try and make these characters real, fully fleshed out human beings. Even people that are not in fandom, I think, have had that experience of watching, Jack and Rose in Titanic and crying at the end because we felt so deeply for them. That's normal. I don't even really like the word normal, but it's healthy. It's healthy for us to feel, compassion and empathy towards people that are suffering, even if we're just seeing that through the screen. And as I said, so much of what we see is through the screen now anyway. So what I'd love for you to take from this is self-acceptance. Primarily, I'd love for you to accept that this is what you're feeling, that the feelings that you feel are real. So after that, what happens next? After you say, you know what, yeah, I do feel genuine love for this character. I have formed some kind of a relationship with this character, whether that person's your comfort character or you're someone that does self-shipping, or, you know, we all love a YN reader insert fan fiction, whatever it is, look at that and accept it. Accept it first. My intention really is for you to drop any shame, any judgment, or any confusion around your inner world, and to just understand that the feelings that you're feeling are real. Once you've done that, then you can ask yourself another question, and that question is, knowing this, now what? Knowing this, now what? That's deceptively simple, but powerful. So now you know that what you're feeling is real. What do you want to do next? Some people choose to stay in that relationship with that character. It's actually a thing. It's called fictophilia. I really don't like that name, because philia is short for paraphilia, and paraphilia is usually a sexual preference that causes harm to people. And I don't think that loving a fictional character is causing harm to anyone, unless it's causing harm to yourself, in which case that's something to look at. Other people may choose a different path and say, you know what, it's been a beautiful experience, but this really isn't serving me. And so what you can do is you can actually start to look at your relationship to this character and start to ask yourself questions like, what qualities does this character possess? What kind of relationship am I creating with them? And what does that mean about myself? What does that mean about what I want and need and desire? You know, it's quite a while back now, and I started looking at my patterns over the years in the fan fictions that I'd wrote and the universes that I created and these characters that I was writing about. And I looked at the common themes and patterns, and a lot of the themes and patterns were around partnership, you know, partners in crime, power couples, real friendship, unconditional positive regard, mutual love and respect, really teaming up, becoming a team was a really common theme of mine, and great sex and lots of humour and lots of banter. So when I could start to understand that that's something that was coming up again and again in what I was writing and what I was creating, I really started to accept that that's what I wanted, and that's something that I'm creating in my life right now, and that feels really, really good. You might make a different choice though, and if you choose to stay in relationship to your character, that's okay. You don't have to tell anyone about it. I think it's true that a lot of people might not understand, and a lot of people might judge, and that's okay. Don't talk to them about it. Talk to the people who understand it. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with this. These characters are designed so that we care about them, right? The studios and the actors and all the people on the production team are doing a beautiful job of creating these fully fleshed out human beings, or, you know, mystics, gods, whatever it might be, heroes. They're doing a beautiful job of creating them, and we feel for them. We're meant to, we're supposed to. And, you know, we've just taken it a little bit further, and that's okay. Just bring it back to that question, knowing that, now what? Knowing that, now what? There's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes we feel like that shame and that judgment can be effective, but shame is never an effective vehicle for transformation. We think it is. We think that by judging ourselves and like beating ourselves up and doing that like self-flagellation thing, unless you're into flogging, and that's another conversation for another time, but beating ourselves up about it is not going to be effective to push us forward. We need to be really, really gentle and loving with ourselves through this process. And the first step is self-acceptance and understanding your own inner world. I hope this was really helpful to you. If it was, please let me know your biggest takeaway down below, and let me know what action step you're going to take as a result of this information. And if you've watched all the way to the end, please comment the keyword love down below so I know that you made it this far. Thank you so much for being here. I've been Cheryl Muir. This has been Love and Fandom. I will see you next time, and remember, you are absolutely worthy of love. And whatever form that love takes is your choice, and you're beautiful, and I love you.